going to say do a big two-handed hello tonight. Welcome from the entire team and the How to Think podcast. Sorry, guys, I'm getting caught up in my words tonight. This evening, as always, we have our host, Mr. Serge Romano, Mr. Robert Haugh, and our Mr. Resident Fitness and Guru Businessman, Mr. Magnus Olson. So, guys, I do want to throw Robert on the bus here for a minute. Rob, we know you're either by the time this podcast goes to air or shortly before or shortly after, you're about to become a father, mate, for the first time. So just wanted to, on air, say we hope all's going well. And, yeah, mate, we wish you luck for the pending birth.
Thank you, guys. Cheers. I appreciate it.
And we wish luck to your beautiful partner as well. And I'm sure she'll play her part as well.
She has to.
Rob's medical brain's just currently going, what? So, without further ado, I'm going to stop being inappropriate and get back on topic. Guys, this evening's topic, I think, is very passionate. Is something that we're all very passionate about. I know that I'm still trying to perfect mine, so I'm not going to put my hand up and say I'm still, a work in progress in this regard. But I know the other three gentlemen are very well rehearsed in this arena. So I'm going to throw Mr. Olson under the bus first of all here, because I know he's extremely passionate about this. So, guys, the question tonight is the morning routine. What does it look like for you, and why do you believe it is important? Whether it's the 5 a.m. club, the 10 a.m. club, whatever it is for you, talk to us about that, and let's dive in. Magnus, take it away.
Well, thanks, Ben. Well, it's the 5 a.m. club for me. It used to be the 10 a.m. club a decade or two ago, but it's turned back into the 5 a.m. club. And I've got two different morning routines. One, if I'm training, and the other, if I'm not training. If I'm training, up at 5, go and do a session, 1 to 2 hours, followed by coffee with the guys, and then home for a shower, breakfast, have a very routine breakfast, a banana smoothie concoction that I've made up, and followed by meditation. I'll meditate in the morning for half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour every morning. And if I'm not training, up at 5, and then I'll meditate straight away, and then followed by coffee, breakfast, and then get stuck into work.
I have to ask the obvious question. What changed you from the 10 a.m. club back to the 5 a.m. club? Was it that you were having a few cheeky ones out in the town, or what changed?
Well, it started, I got into cycling about 8 years ago, and we all know with cyclists, it's an early morning activity. And so just wanted to change the clock around and gone from going to bed at 2 a.m. to going to bed at 9 p.m.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And as someone who's very much an amateur cyclist, but does enjoy the sport. I won't share the story about the Tour de Brisbane when Magnus zoomed past me. We won't talk about that on camera, but that's all right. I guess what I want to talk about for everyone next is Serge. Serge and Magnus are the two elder statesmen of this podcast. But as anyone with eyes can tell, they clearly both look after themselves. They are very youthful, and I hope I'm in as good a condition as they both are when I'm a little bit older. So, Serge, what keeps you youthful, mate? What keeps you looking not a day over 40?
A day over 40, I'm offended. Thank you, Ben. Look, my routine is really, I played, reasonable high-level AFL football, not like at the highest level, please don't get me wrong. So, my whole junior life and up until about my late 20s, I was playing football. And then, ever since I stopped playing, I just maintained a very basic, exercise regime. And then when I started coaching footy as well, I was doing a lot of the training and the drills and all that sort of stuff with the boys that I was training. So that kept me going as well. But to answer the specific question, my morning routine now and today is that probably 4 to 5 days a week I go for about a 6K run, and that's so I'm a 6:30 a.m. club. So that's my club. So that's pretty much when I do what I do what I do. Come back, shower up. Breakfast for me is fairly also reasonably routine. There's yogurts, there's fruit, there's cereal from a granola kind of mix, and oats and all that sort of stuff. So I don't steer away too much from that at all. And I make sure that I maintain that. Although, Magnus, I'm going to be very keen to understand what your banana smoothie concoction is. I don't mind one of those to mix things up, and a cup of coffee, and then I'm into it. So that's pretty much my routine. And the other days that I'm not running, I kind of do like some very basic weights, and I do all this at home. Right? I don't have a home gym or anything like that, but I've just got some basic stuff. And when I go for my run, I include things like push-ups, dips, sit-ups, and I've just continued to do that ever since I stopped playing footy. So that's pretty much it. My routine from a diet routine, not just in the morning, but for the rest of the day, I'm trying to eat as healthily as I possibly can. And that's kind of it's not a secret per se, but that's what it is for me.
Thank you, Serge, for
chime
sharing.
in there.
Sorry, Magnus?
If I could just chime in there, Serge, that's impressive, mate. Well done. I love the consistency. And I think that's what's most important. And being able to maintain that like you have done is impressive, mate. So well done.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to share. This is not just for the 4 gentlemen on this. This is for everyone that's listening, right? So I'm a big believer of everything in moderation, right? That's been my mantra. So if I want to drink, I'll drink. If I want to eat chocolate, I'll eat chocolate. If I want to eat chips, I'll eat chips. But I don't have to have a whole packet of them or a whole bottle of wine or a whole slab of beer, right? So it's all moderation for me. So here's what I'll share. When I got married at the tender age of 27, I was 76 kilos. I'm now 59 years of age and I weigh 78 kilos. So there you go.
Very powerful. And for anyone who's struggling with their morning routine, I think we've got a lot of gentlemen on this show that can help. So please definitely get in touch with them. Ask them how they do it. I know that for the 2 gentlemen that have spoken so far, it's very real for them. They clearly are consistent with what they do. So get in touch with them. Rob, I'm very interested to hear what you've got to say, mate, as a practicing physio and someone who actually cares. Not that we all don't care, but you really care about people's well-being and health. I'm very intrigued to hear how you manage that for yourself.
Yeah, it's interesting. I probably dabbled with my morning routine a lot over the time. I think I'm in a different sort of stage of my career where I sort of I've purposely tried to pile things onto my plate, because in the general gist of let's try and do as much as I can while I'm younger, and the hopeful that later in life I'll be able to, kind of have levels of responsibility, but still have high levels of responsibility, but maybe not have to put as much time into certain things. So early in my career, for the first 6 years of being a physio, mate, I would see clients from 6 till 6 or something like that. So I'm in a totally different stage of my career. So my morning routine has really, really changed. Currently, if we talk about what my current morning routine is, I'm part of a 4:30 a.m. club. Sorry to try and beat everyone.
Wow.
That's actually only up very recently, and that's only just because of I guess just how much responsibility I have and how much I do place a a value on my health and being able to get exercise in. So I get up first thing in the morning, I go straight to the gym. I'm lucky enough to have a gym where I work, so I train before. And generally being able to do that, I can sustain, like, it just gives me such an energy boost that I can just sustain a level of energy throughout the day. You can tell when I don't train. I've gone through periods throughout the last 6 years where, you know, you pile a lot onto your plate and sometimes that goes missing, and you know that when that goes missing for a week or two, you go, oh man, can't do that. So I can speak to it. I can speak to the value of consistency, and you're seeing what you two guys do. I admire that consistency. Absolutely. I've gone through the challenges of trying to find what that's like with different things coming in. I mean, as you said, I'm about to go into a point where I'm about to have a kid. Sleep and morning routines are about to go out the window. It pretty much just comes down to what baby needs and what baby wants. And you just have to be agile. I think that's important. It's super important to be agile. You know, if you don't have a morning routine, start experimenting with things that work for you. We know what works. You can put in a Google search and find what works. You know, some people do the cold showers. Some people get up and train. You know, coffee. You know, do we have coffee when we first wake up in the morning, or do we have it later on? I'm generally a person who will try to stay away from coffee for a couple of hours because we know the impacts of that, having that straight away. Trust me, I love a coffee, and it's hard not to have it when you first wake up, but I push that out. There's plenty of things out there, and there's plenty of things that can help you build a morning routine. You got to find what suits you. You got to find what suits your goals and what you're doing in your career or in your life right now. And be agile enough to change things and be aware enough to reflect and find what has that worked? Hasn't it worked? All right, let's change things up and let's just go from there.
Very powerful, Rob, and very honest. So recently I've I'll just be very raw here, guys, on the show. I've had my father died in the last couple of years. Rob, as I mentioned numerous times, was a great support to me with my elbow surgery, which happened at that same time. So obviously I struggled a little bit with my morning routine. I won't mention anything because for legal reasons it would be very silly for me too. I had some very interesting times with ex-business partners of mine, which caused a lot of stress and anxiety and concern, because obviously, for those people who don't know, Full Spectrum has 150 staff or thereabouts. I'm responsible for all of their mortgages, all of their well-being, all of that. Obviously, when you've got that on your shoulders, guys, and you've got, a loss in family, as we all probably have suffered, and things like that, it can be a lot. So I've struggled with my morning routine, but in recent times, I've got into a really good space with it. Something that I've read from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who I really appreciate his mantra, which is, I will be the hardest working person in the room. Those people who know me know that I pretty much live that. I'm like Rob. Rob didn't say retire, but I'm going to use that word. I plan to retire young, and I plan to live life to its fullest, so that I can achieve what I want to achieve and then put that same energy into my family. So my mantra, as I mentioned, is based on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, for those who have read his mantra, which is get up 2 hours before your day starts, whenever that is. So if you have to start at 10 a.m., your first appointment, you're up at 8. If you have to leave, if you have to catch a flight at 6, you're up at 4. Right? That gives you time to prioritize number one. Because if you don't support you, how are you going to help anyone else? And I think that's something that's been consistent across the three of us, that, the other three of you that have gone tonight. You need to prioritize yourself. Otherwise, you will be useless to everyone else. So I just want to say, like, from on behalf of me and all the other people on the show tonight, we've tried to be really transparent with you. If you are struggling with your morning routine, if you have questions, if you want to know more about how we do what we do, please email in, text in, and we'd love to hear from you guys, because I know this is something that the four of us are very passionate about, and we all do it slightly differently, but I think ultimately we all have success. So, guys, on behalf of everyone, thanks for another great show, and we'll see you all very soon.